Hoka Hoka. My name is Lisa Sherman. I am the elder navigator here. My kapai is Santa Isabel Indian Reservation. I am here today with beautiful Kaylee Ravago. Go ahead, Kaylee, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Ravago. I'm the Substance Abuse Prevention, Treatment, Aftercare, and Zero Suicide Program Coordinator here at the clinic, and I am from Paula.
Thank you. And we have a special guest today. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the far end and let him, Freddie, introduce himself.
Hi, my name's Freddie. I grew up on San Pasquale. I'm enrolled in Tuolumne Miwok.
Thank you. And today we also have Sage.
Hello, I'm Sage Powers. I race motocross, trying to go pro, and I'm from Palma.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back and forth on questions. And I'm going to start with the first question. Tell us about yourself and where you're from. Well, you just introduce yourself already.
Yeah, so like I said, I grew up on San Pasquale. I'm enrolled in Tuolumne Miwok. I grew up riding motorcycles, but they quickly fell out of it. So I've always had a passion to be in motorcycles, work on motorcycles, and yeah, the opportunity came to where we could sort of combine that passion with someone that still actively rides, and that's Sage. So what we're doing is trying to help him actually gain the resources that he needs to be competitive in this sport.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I'm from Palma, like I said. I grew up there since I was I'd say 10. And then moved out of there when I was obviously 10. And then I was riding since I was 3. So I've been about 14 years I've been riding. And when I was 3, I rode this little pit bike, what we'd call it. And it was just, I fell in love from there. And oh my gosh, I went to a track one day. Paula, it was my 3rd time there. And it was a race, and I was like, okay, let's get that game. And I try it. He goes, sure, why not? I got 2nd, and I'm like, oh, I love this. So we kept doing it. Took it really serious about, say, 10. Because it was just we didn't really know anything about it. My dad just rode desert. I just pitted around the house in my backyard. And then that's really about it, about that part. And then when I was 12, 13, I started going out of country, out of state, going to Texas, going to Arizona, going to, furthest I've been was Florida to train for a month out there. And then I went to Oklahoma, raced a couple races out there, did really good, got 3rd in their amateur nationals when I was 14. Raced Loretta's at 14 and 15. And I was racing C class out there, which is the lowest of the 250 class, which was pretty good. I should have won, I felt like. I fell a few times. But from then, I was when I got on big bikes, I just really got attached to it and just whoa, okay, yeah. I want to take this to pro. And I'm at A class, which is under pro. That's where I get my pro points. So hopefully next year I'll be at Fox National and Hangtown and Colorado.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is he's Loretta's it's the largest amateur racing event in the country. It's huge, and when you say the country, you're pretty much talking almost the world, because Southern California really is ground zero for motocross and motocross culture. So that's actually how I found out about Sage is they streamcast the Loretta's event, and I was just watching the racing, and there was this kid that just ripped this whole shot. And then, they have the names and the little bios and stuff like that. And I saw his name and where he was from. And I remember it was kind of like a really big moment. I ran out of the room and I showed my mom. She was laying down, and I was like, wow, there's this kid from Palma. He's ripping. And we had the idea to form a team, but when when I saw that, then there was an urgency there, and I kind of felt bad because he did have a lot of bike problems. He probably would have won had he not had those problems, you know. And he has a lot of modesty and humility to him, but like when we talk about like how big this event is and how much work that it took to get there, it's crazy that he went there and he got third, and you know. And you hate to sort of look back and think like a retrospect, oh, if this would have happened or that would have happened, like maybe he could have won, but that's where we're trying to like be preemptive now. So, you know, he's talking about next year when he sort of really graduates out of this amateur class and becomes like full-on professional. That's what we're like working towards now. So he has one race that's also an amateur race that's pretty much as big, right? It's Minos is just as big as Loretta's.
It's honestly, in my opinion, it's bigger.
It's bigger.
Just because, like Loretta's, he said is biggest, but you have to qualify to get into Loretta's. There's 2 qualifiers. There's area qualifier, which is in just areas like Beaumont. There's Glen Helen. There's Paula. There's just everywhere.
And he's talking about tracks, like
Yeah.
they're like in Southern California.
And they're all in just Southern California. There's actually tracks in Florida that you race out there if you want. Utah. It's the whole state. There's even people from Japan that come out here to race Loretta's, to try and qualify for Loretta's. But in my opinion, Mineo's is bigger just because you don't have to qualify for it. And you can just go out there and you can hope to qualify at that race. Usually since there's so much people, and that's why Loretta's, you have to qualify it, is because they don't want that much people at that race. Because at Mineo's, it's such a huge place. Like, they got Supercross and motocross. And when they have all the way to 50s, like PWs, where there's kids that are 4 to 6, all the way to guys that are 50 years old that are racing. It's like even 60 even, if they really want to go. And from little guys to 50s, 65s, 85s, 125s, 250s, and 450s. Everybody's different.
And here he's talking about like the bike sizes
Yeah.
of like the displacement that designates like the motors.
Yeah. And CCs, I mean, like 50 cc, it's just the size of the motor and how fast it goes. Like the PWs and the 50 cc's, they don't have gears. It's just an automatic bike, 1 gear, and you go.
So it goes according to CCs or ages, or how does that?
Both.
Okay.
So obviously, if I'm 17, I can't race a PW only because it's about, 3 feet tall? Not even. 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
And then there's 450cc, which you have to be 16 to race. Or, no, it's 18 to race, right?
I don't know what it is.
It's 16 or 18 to race 450s. Yeah, it's 16.
I think it's 16, right?
And then 250s, you have to be 14 to race. But you can ride them when you're 13, but it's just not safe because they're so powerful. And you have 5 gears. 250s can go up to, I'd say, 90 to 80 miles per hour stock. No mods. 450 can go to 100 to 110 stock. And then the pros, like the guys that are on race teams that get a bunch of stuff that nobody can get, their bikes can go like 130, 140 easy.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like the amount of like money that goes into just like the engines alone that some of these like bigger teams are like capable of like investing into that, it's crazy because when you think like when you think about the competitive advantage that motor package has to the guy that's like lined up on the gate next to him, it's a bit disheartening, but it is what it is, you know. Like I mean, you hate to sort of like piggyback off what I was talking about earlier, but you know, if like Sage really had all of those resources and he didn't have those mechanical failures, it's like what would have been his success rate, you know? And that's a big thing is the amount of like resources and ultimately privilege that coincides with this sport. puts like average Joes like us like at such a disadvantage because we don't have the resources to be competitive with that, you know. And you know, for now that we've started this team, because this team is really relatively young. I mean, we talk about the story about 2 years ago when, you know, Sage was building his talent and coming up through the age ranks and the bike ranks. And now that the sort of the stars are have aligned and he has the opportunity to get his final pro points at this race in Florida, it changes the caliber of racing and it changes the level of competitor that we're going to go up against, because now we're going up against like the actually factory funded teams from Japan and from Europe. And like Sage was saying earlier, I mean, these guys can put, you know, 100,000, 200,000 to the engine, you know, and here we are, you know, hitting powwows, trying to scrape up like a couple thousand, couple hundred, just so we can make like the entry fees, you know. So we got a big journey ahead of us, but we're really excited to do it because, you know, we're kind of like the first ones to do this. You know, an all native team with all native staff, with all native sponsors. Like we're not doing anything new, but we also are doing something new in the fact that, you know, we're combining like our own talent, our own resources to sort of like push ahead like our own narrative in racing, you know. And I think that's like really, really exciting. So
Yeah, and you're young, and this is big, you know, in our community to have any Native American go out there and thrive like this. And so I'll let Kaylee go ahead and.
So just tell us a little about like your culture, your family, your community.
Okay, my family, my culture is just obviously just Native, and I've been really just around them since I was little, but I don't know my family at all. My grandma, my grandpa passed away before I was even born. My mom passed away when I was 14, and I just like never really knew about my family. My dad never told me really, and so it's just my family. I just know all my cousins, all my family. I know they love me and I love them. I can go out there right now. We can go have like a great time and stuff. And every single time I see my cousins, my aunties, I love them. They're awesome. And
You grew up in Palma too? Yeah, okay. So he's from Palma Reservation. Go ahead.
yeah, I mean, I grew up locally too, so, you know, it's different because I'm enrolled member of Tuolumne Miwok in Northern California. But I grew up on Santistevan because that's where my grandma's enrolled from. So I grew up on Santistevan. I went to like the Valley Center schools, and then I moved away when I was like 18. And I just been back like 2 years. I moved away for college, and then I was in the Bay Area for like a long time. But it was just the opportunity to come home presented itself, and it was time. I had spent too much time away from the res, and it feels good to be back. And, you know, when you talk about like the culture and what it's like, it's crazy because like Indian country here is so unique. It's so special. You know, you talk about the way like Sage is from Palma, and like everyone knows everyone, you know, like when we're going to these events, like I was, you know, when we're going to these events, when we're going to the powwow specifically, you know, we're always like talking to people and telling them like who Off the Res is. And I'm always like, well, you know, who's the writer, you know, like Sage Powers. I'm like, oh yeah, he's my cousin, you know, like we hear that like a lot, you know? So, it's been fun to be back and to be back with the culture, you know, and to, you know, to get out there and to really, you know, to know like who your cousins are and stuff like that, you know, because I've been gone for like a long time, but people know like my mom, and they know like my grandma, and they know like my grandpa and stuff like that. So it's nice to be back like around that, you know. And I think what we're trying to do now is get people to rally behind Sage because he is such an exceptional young man. He has really worked hard, and he does have like a bright future, but we gotta let the res people know, like, you know, this kid's going somewhere, like, you know, let's rally around him. So
I like how you mentioned that you left the reservation, because some people do that and they get to see, what it's like. And the reservation's always going to be there, and it's good to come home and you get that, that outlook on life too. So you kind of mentioned, sponsorship and by the way, your Instagram. You want to go ahead and go over your company,
Yeah.
business. Yeah, go ahead.
Definitely, yeah. Right now we're only running from Instagram, so it's _racing. That's the main handle. That's where you find all the news. You can follow Sage's journey. We have a TikTok account, but we haven't got into it yet. I'm too old for TikTok, so I need someone younger that could understand the dynamics behind it and get us busy there. But yeah, we're really trying to gain traction with what it is that we're doing and where it is that we're taking him. And, you talked about like the sponsorships and stuff like that. We're really lucky in the fact that, we were able to land 3 Native companies to like believe in Sage and believe in the ethos of OTR and help us. And we're really grateful for their support and everything that they do for us. And we really believe in the product. And, we push that with sincerity because we do think that, we believe in the products and we want Native communities to believe in it, So, yeah, it's been really fun doing this.
And you're sponsored by?
We have 3 sponsors, like I said. So one sponsor is Sacred Bev. They're a wellness drink. And he, the owner, CEO of that company, he's also from San Pasqual. Mm-hmm. Second company is a food company from Bismarck, North Dakota, Pemmican Patty Food Company, and it's just a wonderful family. Patty Mabin, her brother, they do so much. What she does is they're pemmicans, and I didn't know what a pemmican was until her food company, but it's kind of like a bison jerky treat. It's really good. It's delicious. And then the third sponsor is Native First Nutrition. And what they are is they're like a supplement company. So like everything that like a GNC store would have, Native First Nutrition has. And we really like these 3 sponsors because they really do not only supplement like our program really well, but they're also analogous to like consumer niches that you would see on the major the major bikes that we compete against, So instead of like a Monster, like a Red Bull, like we have Sacred, or is like a Slim Jims or Oberto jerky treats, like we have Pemmican Patty. And it's really nice because like when we think about all of these products, we have the analogous products, but like from an indigenous perspective, right? And it's really cool to train with that, and to have that, like our rich culinary history, like infused in our training program, because, it's not just about racing, it's about like, affirming our culture and preserving our traditions, and just letting people know that, like we have all of these things, which is, I don't know. I think now is the time and place to like really put them together. So.
Okay.
So, what is Off the Res like promoting? So, what is your guys' like
what would you
slogan,
say
I guess?
Sage?
Off the Res is promoting me and promoting Native kids that could race motocross.
Yeah.
Okay.
They could come in, they can join, they can come out to the races. I can help train them because right now I train little kids and I can help Off the Res. Well, they help me and we can get kids from Native families that want to race, and I can train the little kids, and we can all race together, and we promote racing, obviously.
How does that make you feel? Like empowered? What's that feeling now? Tell us a little bit about that.
It feels awesome to have a team behind me, especially Freddie. He's so smart with promoting and everything. I don't know how he does it. It's crazy. And it makes me feel really good because I'll be out on the track. I'll be like having a bum day, and I'm like, I feel weird. And then I remember I got a team behind me. I'm like, yeah, I can still do it. He wants me to achieve my goals, so it like gives me more energy's like, yes, I can keep going. Just push a little more, get a little better, you know? And then, yeah, that's...
I love that vibe. Yeah, I have that too because I play peon and, you know, whatever your vibe is, though, you know, it feels good. Did you want to say something too?
No, I mean, yeah, just what he was saying, you know, the way we can do it together. That's pretty much what it is, you know, that we could do, as natives, we could do anything together. And I guess what we're speaking to today is that we are doing one thing, which is racing. We're doing it like the native way, so.
Okay. So I also like want to throw adrenaline out there because I'm is it like an adrenaline kind of like rush too, you know, like when you win, right?
Oh, it's insane. Like, when I win, it's like I'll get off the track. I want to throw my bike on the floor, just start dancing like crazy. But I know I gotta be professional in front of the cameras because the moment you get off, there's a big freaking TV camera right in front of you, and you gotta be like happy, but can't be too happy, you know. And I just love getting off the track, knowing, wow, I can go on TV and be like, yeah, I got the whole shot. I came around the corner first, and I just felt perfect on the track. I hit my marks. I hit the turns perfect. I was scrubbing low, and scrubbing is where you stay lower on the jump. And it's like, it's so nice to like be able to explain what you did after a race.
Nice. So yeah, and also like, I just love this. Yeah, it just gets me excited. But, so what is the final message that you guys want to tell the people? You mentioned your Instagram and sponsorship and, you know, go ahead. I'll let you take it.
I guess like the final things that we want to get out is just that, you know, it's, Sage is important, you know, and all this hard work and all this effort that he's putting, because like he said, he's been riding since 3.
Yeah.
That's like a long time, you know. Like he's still young now, but like that number doesn't reflect like all the miles that he puts in running to the gym, working out, all the sacrifices that he made, you know, because you know, his dad's not here, you know, but you know his dad has, you know, worked his butt off, you know, multiple jobs, making sacrifices, you know, putting in the hard drives, you know, doing anything that he could to get him to the races, you know. So now what we just want to do is we want to do our part, you know. We want to try to do as much as that we can for him, you know. So, yeah. Come see us at the races, you know. Yeah.
I was going to say, I met you guys at the Pechanga California Indian Day, so that was awesome. And how can people get a hold of you? What's a good number, contact?
So I dropped the Instagram handle. A good email for me is offtheresracing, one word, @gmail.com. That's the best way that you can get a hold of me. And then if not, you know, come to a powwow. You know, like we're out there, you know, fiestas, you know. So yeah. Yeah.
And then my Instagram is littleNoodle776, no underscore, just that.
And I'm going to also look up at some of those sponsorships, you know, and add them on my Instagram too.
Yeah, definitely. And that's one thing that we want to do is really get outreach to like not only us, but like our sponsors too, you know, because you know, it'd be nice to have like Pumpkin Patty Food Company to, like on the shelves of like our like local reservation markets and things like that, you know, so.
Yeah, because it kind of like you said, promotes them and their product as well.
Yeah, you know, and just from like, you know, basic like consumer like economics, you know, like why would we not buy like our own product, you know? And so yeah.
Yeah, like it's native made, you know, not made in USA. You know, off the res, you know, I like that off the res, you know. Too.
Yeah. And it's really cool because it really, like, every aspect of it has been off the res. Like, you know, we started with I shouldn't say small, I should say that we started with a really grateful donation that we got from La Jolla Band Luiseño Indians. And with that, we squeezed every penny that you can get out of it. And we've been able to kind of sustain ourselves with that. And we're really happy with everything that we've generated has come from the Indian community, and everything that we have reinvested has gone back into the Indian community. So when I say that we are like all native racing, like in every aspect, and that's the coolest part. Yeah.
Did you want to add anything, Kaylee?
No.
I know we really want to watch him. Yeah, so maybe we can get some clips too. We can add with
Yeah.
this.
I mean, when he talks about the scale, when you're coming off the bike, like we're talking Saturday night, Anaheim Stadium, like 60,000 people. It's a spectacle. It's just watching him, I get excited. So I can't even begin to like feel what he might be feeling. But
Yeah.
this race season is going to be exciting.
So yeah, tune in, Sage over here. Yeah, he's going places, doing things. I like this.
Thank you.
Okay.
Like saying like how he said he doesn't know how it feels like how I'm riding, and I just want to say like I have friends because when I was like slower, obviously I was wondering how does it feel for this person to go fast, and just the other day my friend, he goes, "Hey dude, like I've always wondered what's in your mind when you're coming into a corner and you're just going so fast. Like what do you feel? What do you think?" I'm like, "I just feel like how I would if I were your speed." He goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You know how like you just come into a corner, how you would normally come into a corner?" He goes, "Yeah, I just come into it, just come around the turn, bro, up, come out." And I'm like, "Exactly how I feel. It's no different from how you feel." And he goes, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's a couple times where I'll come in, front wants to dip down, and you're like, oh, shoot." But then that's the fun part is when you get that oh, shoot moment, but then you save it. It's really fun.
Oh gosh.
And I really love the pemmican patties. They're so good. I loved like just for breakfast, I'll have those little cheese sticks. And then you can just take a bite out of the cheese stick with the pemmican. Oh my gosh, so good.
10 grams of protein too.
Yeah. So they're really healthy. And then sacred bevs I love to drink after a race. And then, or before a race, just the immunity one. So I can, for me, feels refreshing. So I can just like a refresh on my mind and my body. Like if I'm a little frustrated before the race, after the race I've just done, I'm like, let me have immunity. It helps me clear my mind and then do my best on the next one. And then I take the supplements of the Native First Nutrition. Their protein, like, usually protein powder, like, tastes a little funky. Yeah. And I tried it. I'm like, oh, this tastes just like a Reese's Pieces. Their chocolate and peanut butter one's my favorite. It was like, oh my gosh, it tastes like ice cream. So good.
I would say Kaylee likes to do her little sacred bevs boomerang.
Oh yeah.
On her Instagram.
Yeah, I do.
She's a big fan of that. Yeah, sacred bev.
I think I've seen one on their story then.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's either that or I have a baking page that I usually post them on too. Yeah, it goes back and forth. Yeah.
That's cool.
Use the code RACING20.
Yeah.
Save online. 20%.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to shout out any of your guys' like races coming up?
Actually, if you guys want to come down to Paula Raceway, Fox Raceway, I'm racing next weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
And Saturday, Sunday, you can guys come out. It's usually, they start the gates at 8 a.m. And then whenever they're done, it's usually like 5, which is insane. But it's just an all weekend event. I practice Friday, race Saturday and Sunday, leave Sunday. And it's a fun race.
And then that race is going to be at Fox Raceway in Paula. And then in the beginning of the new year, the 1 week actually after the Pachanga Powwow, that's when the Supercross season starts. And then so that we're really inviting everyone to go Anaheim, San Diego, Anaheim, and then we have to go to Glendale. So those are the Supercross series, and those are the ones that are going to be Saturday night in the big NFL and MLB stadiums. And then so this trip that we go to Florida is so that we can get the pro points to enter that type of racing. So so we go to Florida, and then he has a race the following week in Arizona, and then Supercross starts a month after that, so things are going fast. We would like to have a fundraising event before the season starts, and then we're also going to have like a press show as well, so people can stick keep their ears to our social media channels, and we are like inviting people to these events too. So yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, because we'll follow you and look forward to any upcoming events as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.